Hey everyone, my name is Alex. I'm here with Very Good Cocktails, and today I'm going to show you guys how to make some killer restaurant quality cocktails from the comfort of your own home. But before we do that, I want to say a huge thank you to Spaulding Ridge for commissioning us to make this video, as a huge thank you to you for having helped them make their year such a huge success. They just want to extend the biggest heartfuls of gratitude this holiday season, and they wanted us to let you know that they will be donating to Feeding America in your honor. Today we're going to be making 3 cocktails, and I'm going to show you guys step by step in real time how to make them. So follow along, or do whatever you want. Watch for your entertainment. And we encourage you to make the drinks just like we're making them, and we know you'll have a great time. So without any further ado, I'm going to show you guys how to make a classic daiquiri. All right, classic daiquiri. Not New Orleans style served in a styrofoam paper cup. No, this is a classic daiquiri, meaning 3 ingredients: rum, lime, and sugar. We're not blending anything, we're shaking it like it's supposed to be. I'm a purist. You can call me if you disagree, and we'll talk for hours about it. Like I said, rum, lime, and sugar. This is one of the easiest recipes. You can sub out any liquor. If you want to make a margarita right now, instead of a daiquiri, sub in tequila. If you want to make a gimlet right now, use gin. If you want to make a gimlet with vodka, use vodka. This is the easiest recipe, and if you can commit it to memory, you'll be like the most popular person at every single holiday party, I swear. All right, so 3 ingredients, like I said: simple syrup, freshly squeezed lime juice. I don't want to see any pasteurized anything. I squeezed this by hand just a few minutes ago. And then it's listed all the tools beforehand. This is the ounce measure, or jigger as it's called. These are shaking tins. So when preparing a cocktail, the biggest difference between a restaurant and your home is generally in the preparation. Like I said, we're using freshly squeezed lime juice. Don't buy anything off the shelf. I promise you it will take it to the next level. We have nice, pretty glassware. We have all the ingredients we need right in front of us. Cool? So I say this all the time when I'm training my staff. I say we want a beginning, a middle, and an end of every cocktail, right? Beginning meaning I have my ingredients ready. The middle meaning I have my technique. Today we're shaking this one. And then end, I have my glassware ready. Think of it, if you're cooking a meal, you don't want the hot food to not be ready to be put on a plate to go out to the guest. You want everything right in front of you, ready to go. So preparation is key on this, okay? Hear me out. So first, I'm gonna pour 1 ounce of simple syrup into my shaker, right? Next, 1 ounce of freshly squeezed lime juice. There we go. And third, certainly not least, today I'm using some light rum, an agricole rum, one of my favorites. And we're gonna pour 2 ounces of this all the way to the top. Cool? There we go. So if you take nothing else away from this entire class, this entire video, this entire experience, remember this, and this will take you miles in your cocktail dreams and journeys. We are doing 3 things when we are shaking a cocktail. We are chilling, we are diluting, adding water, and we are aerating a cocktail. Aeration is so important, and like I say every time, it's the biggest difference between an at-home version or the restaurant version. Aerating, we want the ice to act like a piston, banging the ice around, injecting air into the cocktail and lifting it to make it taste amazing, all right? So, got my glass, like I said, beginning is done. We're about to do the middle, and then we're gonna do the end. So grab your shaking tin. We're gonna fill it about 2/3 of the way full with ice. Here we go. All right, and like I said, we're chilling, diluting, and aerating. So it's important when you're shaking, it sounds like a maraca. It sounds like chicka, 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 not like a washing machine sound, right? So use your ears, and you'll be able to tell when it's done, okay? So, holding it in my hand, I'm gonna go laterally, like a maraca, chicka, chicka, chicka. Like that, right? A little faster. And we're done. If you're doing it with me, we're doing it in real time together. That is all the time you need. You'll know it's done because you can hear air trying to escape. I look in, I see beautiful, pretty bubbles on top of the cocktail, and I can scrape a thin layer of ice off the outside, okay? So the cocktail is done. What we're gonna do now is we're going to double straining. So I've got a Hawthorne strainer right here, and I have a fine strainer right here. The reason we double strain is to keep all of those tiny little ice particles that we just bashed into smithereens out of the top of our cocktail. If you did it right, you'll have this little ice patty on the top. We don't want any of that in our nice, fresh daiquiri. So look at that. It looks beautiful. It looks perfect. We have this nice layer of bubbles across the top. It looks chilled. It looks refreshing. Let's give it a taste. Fail-safe recipe, I'm telling you. Cheers. That is a classic daiquiri. All right, the daiquiri was delicious. Now I'm gonna show you how to make an old fashioned. This is like a steakhouse old fashioned. Super traditional, super classic way to make an old fashioned. In my opinion, this is the way to make an old fashioned. I'll take that to my grave, all right? So 3 ingredients, super simple. The biggest difference though, between a steakhouse, like professionally restaurant made old fashioned, and the one you're making at home is probably the amount of time that it is being stirred. So the biggest difference between the daiquiri, right? We shook it, which means we chilled it, diluted, and aerated it. This one, we are not aerating. Subtract the aeration, we are just chilling and diluting this, okay? We don't want bubbles in this, we want it to be silky smooth, we want it to be really nice and balanced, all right? So 3 ingredients, like I said, Angostura bitters, the tried and true classic. When pouring Angostura bitters, just keep in mind, this does not come out of your clothes. So if you're aiming it at anyone, think of it like hot sauce. It'll fly in any direction. So it's just a strategic thing. I put my hand here just in case any shoots this way. I'm gonna dash this 4 times. So just the bottle up and down 4 times. Watch, just like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. There you go. And see, I even got a couple of drops on the bar, and I have done this thousands of times. So be careful, take your time. We're not in any rush. Next up, I have, this is 2 parts sugar, 1 part water, Demerara syrup. Generally freaks people out. All it is sugar in the raw or turbinado sugar, just a higher quality, less refined, a little bit better mouthfeel, more caramel flavor syrup. So 1/4 ounce of this guy, barely any. That's all we need. Cool? And then I'm using whiskey. I'm using rye whiskey today. You can use gin, you can use tequila, you can use mezcal, you can use pretty much anything except vodka, in my opinion, but a vodka old fashioned, I'm not gonna tell you no. That's the beauty of these. If you've never had a gin old fashioned, try it out. So yeah, cool, like I said, whiskey. So we have the ingredients in our mixing glass. I would please ask that you don't use plastic for this. I'm kind of a stickler on that. Glass is super important. Think of it, if you made marinara sauce yesterday into a plastic Tupperware container, it went overnight, you're gonna have that residual marinara sauce embedded in the plastic. Glass doesn't have that going on. So it'll be a clean cocktail. You won't have any residual from the last cocktail you made in it. So please just use glass. A pint glass is totally cool. You could even make it in the glass if you wanted to. Today I've got this beautiful mixing glass, so I'm using glass, okay? So we've got our ingredients, like I said, 2 ounces whiskey, 4 dashes Angostura bitters, and then 1/4 ounce of our 2 parts sugar, 1 part water, Demerara syrup. Now I'm gonna add ice and we're gonna stir this together in real time, okay? Here we go. Grab the bigger ice cubes that you can find. These are about 1-inch cubes. And we're gonna fill this guy up to the top. Take your spoon, put it all the way down to the bottom, and you'll notice my free hand is not touching the glass. I don't want the warmth from my hand to melt the ice any faster than it is. Cool? So now we're stirring the cocktail. We are chilling and diluting it. We're not aerating it, right? If we think of shaking a cocktail is like cooking on a high heat, like searing or sauteing. Stirring is more like a crock pot, right? Like more like a low heat simmer situation. Say you have guests over at your house and one person wants a daiquiri and one person wants an old fashioned. If you wanted to, what we do at restaurants is I'll build the cocktail, put the ice on it and let it sit, make the daiquiri, and by the time the daiquiri is done, this cocktail, even just sitting on the ice, it'll cook itself. Think of it like a slow cooker, right? But we're not slow cooking. We want this old fashioned as soon as possible. So I'm still stirring. A good way to tell when it's done is when the outside of your glass container starts to condensate just a little bit. We're not there yet. And when the ice, you know how ice kind of has that rough feeling when it comes right out of the fridge or the freezer? We want it to look smooth. We want it to look smooth and textured. It means all those little ridges of ice have melted and it's getting smoother. And the cocktail will start looking a little bit opaque. It's really bright in here, brighter than most bars. But we'll want it to look a little bit opaque. That's looking good to me. And since we're gonna serve this on the rocks or on ice, I'm gonna fill my glass right here with ice. Beautiful. All right, cool. This looks done to me. We're gonna strain it. Like I said, we're doing it in real time, so if you started when I started, you're finished now. And go ahead and pour this over the ice. It should smell like really beautiful cinnamon, clove, cardamom, allspice, even nutmeg a little bit. And then to garnish this cocktail, since I used rye whiskey, I'm going to take a peel of the lemon that I have right here, a beautiful lemon. I'm gonna just go ahead, peel a fresh rind off. Notice I didn't get any of the actual fruit. We don't want any lemon juice in here. We just want this beautiful peel, which is loaded with aromatic oil. So I'm gonna take this skin side out and then squeeze it across the top of the cocktail. And you'll see a little oil slick appear and you'll immediately notice and smell the aroma of citrus. We don't wanna taste the citrus, we wanna smell the citrus. So in that goes. If you want to put a cherry in there, you are welcome to do so. However, I like mine clean without cherries. I like the beautiful aroma of just the citrus, the clove, the cinnamon, the allspice, and then of course the rye whiskey. Cheers to you, Spaulding Ridge. Cheers to everyone following along at home. This is wonderful. It's balanced. It doesn't taste like lava. We diluted the alcohol a little bit with water before we added it to the ice, which makes it really balanced and easy to drink. All right, cheers. There we have it. A perfect old-fashioned. All right, we're back with the third, and I lied. We're really making four because this cocktail, what's so cool about it is it can be made without alcohol. So if you're not imbibing, this is a perfect, refreshing cocktail that is really, really wonderful alcohol-free. This is a Southside. This is one of my all-time favorite cocktails. I swear it's a fail-safe. Anytime I'm on this side of the bar and someone sits down and they want something refreshing, but they don't know what they want, this is my go-to. I have made this drink probably a couple thousand times, and maybe once ever has someone not liked it because they found out they were allergic to something in it. I'm not sure. But this is one of my absolute favorites. Like I said, a fail-safe. The Southside, okay? So it's very, very similar to the daiquiri that we made. You'll notice similar ratio of ingredients. We're just changing a couple things, and that is the magic of this, okay? So on my left, your right, I'm making the non-alcoholic version. Right here, I'm in the Collins glass, and then in the coupe glass, we're making the alcoholic version. So we're starting with 1 ounce of simple syrup. So follow along with whichever version you'd like, right? We've got our sweetening agent in there. Next is our freshly squeezed, unpasteurized lime juice. None of that canned stuff, none of that stuff in plastic bottles, right? Wonderful. Okay, so we've pretty much made limeade. Equal parts sugar water, or simple syrup in this case, and freshly squeezed lime juice is limeade. Next, we're gonna add one of my favorite ingredients ever, fresh mint leaves. Add 5 or 6 large mint leaves into each shaking tin, since we are shaking this cocktail. There we go, beautiful. Wonderful. Mint, lime, gin, wonderful. One of my favorite flavor combinations. All right, cool. So for, like I said, we're doing a non-alcoholic version, we're doing an alcoholic version. So this one is pretty much done. I'm gonna add a little bit of soda water to it in a second. I'm going to tend to my gin lovers out there. This is 2 ounces of gin, all the way to the top. There we go. This cocktail is done and built, and for this one, I'm gonna add 2 ounces of soda water, okay? And I'm gonna shake both of these respectively. So like I said earlier, if you take nothing away from this class, chilling diluting, and aerating when we're shaking. Chilling, diluting, and aerating. Aeration is so important for these cocktails, okay? Grab your shaking tin. I have all my ingredients in the smaller part. I'm going to fill this part up with ice. And remember, when we're shaking, I want to hear the maraca sound. I want to hear chicka, 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 chicka as we shake it laterally. Now, you can shake it up and down if you want, but it doesn't really have the same amount of power, okay? So side to side, just like that. There we go. You can hear the air trying to escape because we aerated it correctly. I can scrape a tiny bit of ice off the outside of my shaking tins. And when I open it up inside, I'm greeted with a beautiful sheen of bubbles, which is what we want. This one is crucial that we double strain it because we just shook up a bunch of mint. We don't want a bunch of mint in our teeth. So we're gonna double strain it through a fine strainer to keep those mint chunks out. Beautiful. We have that nice light green tint, and if you shook it correctly, you'll have that little ice patty that we talked about earlier. Rinse my tools, and then shake the non-alcoholic addition. Important we keep a clean working space. All right, and I'm gonna serve this one in a Collins glass over ice. Fill your Collins glass with ice. If you don't have a Collins glass, honestly, a wine glass is really, really wonderful for cocktails as well. So we're shaking this one. Like I said, chilling, diluting, and aerating. Go ahead and pour it in. And we're shaking again laterally. Listen for that maraca sound. Beautiful. All right. Just like the last one, I'm gonna double strain this one because I don't want a bunch of mint particles in my teeth. Beautiful. Non-alcoholic cocktails are the way to go with fresh ingredients. All right, I shook it correctly. I know I have a little chunk of ice here that's wonderful. And then, just to top this one off, I'm gonna hit it with a little soda water. Can never go wrong. It's not sweet enough for your liking, you can totally use Sprite instead of soda water. That's also a win. And then a straw, of course. And then for a garnish for these, I love grabbing the beautiful top florets, as we like to call them in the industry. Little tiny, beautiful, delicate top parts of the mint bouquets, right? And that is gonna go in just like that. You'll notice I hit the mint to kind of wake it up a little bit, as they say. Get that nice minty aroma. The whole room smells like mint. It's wonderful. And then for this, the alcoholic addition of it, I'm gonna take a single mint leaf and just put it off to the side like that. So there you have it, a Southside, one of my favorite cocktails in the whole world. If you're making it without alcohol, it's just a really nice minty limeade. In fact, I'm gonna hit this right now. If you're not making these along with me at home, you're missing out. I encourage you. This is amazing on its own. And of course, the tried and true gin edition. I could drink these all day. I'd be in trouble if I did. But there you have it. That is the Southside. Cheers and enjoy. And there you have it, 3 of my favorite restaurant quality cocktails from the comfort of your own home. Once again, on behalf of Spaulding Ridge, we just want to say a huge thank you to everyone who worked so hard to make their year such a success. Thanks to Duncan at Spaulding Ridge for reaching out to me and for commissioning very good cocktails to make this video. If you have any questions about anything we've done here, any sort of cocktail lore or any bartending questions, you can feel free to email me. I'll put the email right here. You can hit us up at any hour and we'll do our best to answer the questions for you. But happy holidays, happy new year, and we'll see you guys somewhere, hopefully on that side of the bar. Cheers.